Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. I can't make it without you guys. It's always funny to me because people will go through and they will tell me the Cowboys suck because, you know, Dak Prescott isn't part of the top 100, or power rankings. The Cowboys aren't here, they stink because our team is ranked there. It's kind of like mock drafts. I don't do mock drafts because they're really pointless. Oh, let me make sure we get open for business here. Because they're great for just having a conversation, but they really just don't mean jack. And it's funny because there's so many polls. I mean, there's so much data. You can prove anything you want with the same data. And it's funny because they've come out with the ESPN Future Poll, which ranks your team on their future of the next 3 years, projecting who has the best team for the future, for the next 3 seasons. And no surprise, the Eagles' future is bright, according to the poll. They have them ranked number 1. Great quarterback, great team, great coaching. The Eagles, they have it all together. For the next 3 years, the Eagles should be the best team in the NFL by those rankings. And this is where I think it gets to be interesting because I think they do this intentionally. Is when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, you want to make sure that you say something off the wall because there's so many Cowboy fans. The fact that we get pissed off and we talk about it and say, can you believe what they did? It's doing exactly what they want. You're talking about it. We're up in arms. They don't care if you like it or hate it, just that you're talking about it. Because in that same poll, here it is, they've got the Cowboys at 18th. So let's take a look at this and think about this for a second. You have arguably the best offensive line in football that's now healthy, that now has some depth, that's locked in for the next 3 years. You've got a young running back that only has 26 games on him, who was the FedEx Ground Player of the Year, and even being suspended 6 games, still almost had 1,000 yards. I know the jury is out on Dak Prescott, but he's not exactly, the worst quarterback that's out there. Your team is young now. It's no longer an old team that's aging where you look and say, well, next year you're going to lose this guy, that guy, and so on. You're a young team, and typically young teams grow together, especially ones that had 9 games wins last year. So you'd think that we'd be at least in the top half, but no. They don't see growth for the Cowboys for the next 3 years like they do other teams. Now here's where it's interesting because let's go back a year, because what a difference a year makes. Because here's where they were last year. They had New England coming off a Super Bowl as, of course, the best team for the next 3 years. Now you have to start thinking about New England. I know Tom Brady says he'd like to play till he's 45, but do you think Tom Brady is still going to be as effective at 45? I don't think so. They have the Seahawks, who are now in the middle of rebuilding. The Legion of Boom is now doomed. They're completely starting all over. Last year, they said they had the best window for the next 3 years. Yeah. Then they have the Falcons. Okay, well, of course, the Falcons were in the Super Bowl, so of course they're going to say, yeah, they're built for the next 3 years, but we'll see on that one. The Packers with Aaron Rodgers, the Steelers, and then they had us. So last year they said for the next 3 years, the Cowboys are probably about the 6th best position. So we dropped from 6 to 18 and still had a 9-7 season. Interesting. Then it went Raiders, Chiefs, Titans, Bucks. Wow, they had the Bucks at 11. Wonder where they fall this year. Then the Giants, the Colts, Panthers, Bengals, Broncos, and then Vikings. They had the Vikings at 16. So basically, these polls really don't mean much. They really and truly don't. They're great to talk about, great to get us Cowboy fans pissed off over, but really, in the grand scheme of things, don't mean much. When you can't predict more than 50% of wins and losses from week to week, how do we think that they're actually going to be able to predict what teams are going to do well the next 3 years? Remember, the team that they have number one wasn't even in the top 20 last year. Go figure. But as always, friends, don't get mad. Just laugh it off. Because here's what always happens. Whenever our Dallas Cowboys are expected to be good, it's usually when we go in the toilet. But when they're not expecting us to do anything, those are some of our best seasons. So keep that in mind. I'm Mark Holmes with Cowboy Joe Boo, and thank you guys for watching the Joe Boo Sports Report. I'll see you soon.